Today, I really wanted to be up close and personal and talking about the oversaturation of sexual culture and how do we as men, but also women, can maintain our holiness and godly standard despite it all. Now, I wanted to emphasize particular things. We live in a very social media oriented world, all right? So everybody's gonna be posting things on the gram, on Twitter, maybe if y'all still on Snapchat, I'm not still on Snapchat, but if y'all still on Snapchat as well, TikTok, and what we see is an oversaturation of sexual innuendos, lingo, and pictures, right? Things that are meant to be intimate and sacred are all of a sudden becoming the norm. I see girls and men posting thirst traps and things that's meant really just for a man and a wife to adhere to see, and to enjoy. And yet we're putting it out there like it's nothing and people are eating it up. And what you see in the comments and a festering environment of just sexual comments that we would never say, I think, to a person directly. It's so interesting to see that. And so for us, often human beings are product of their environment. So if we surround ourselves constantly with this type of environment, this type of lingo, and these type of pictures, don't you think that's gonna have an impact on us? So how can we maintain the standard when our standard is clearly countering this type of cultural movement? So with that being said, we're gonna go to Genesis 39, verses 8 through 10. Now, I'm not gonna read through it, but I want you guys to highlight one thing when you go through that verse. So to give it some context, Joseph had just gained some honor and some favor with Potiphar, but Potiphar's wife is attracted to him and starts, putting the moves on him. And it's very interesting, Joseph's reaction. Not only did he not sleep with Potiphar's wife, he also was not with her. He decided to move away from any situation that would put him in a very precarious situation. He moved out. He did his own thing. It says right there in verse 10, and was not with her, which I found crucial. And yet Potiphar's wife kept initiating and kept going after her and kept chasing him down. It's the same thing with our temptations and the same thing with the sexual culture. It's always going to be chasing you. It's always going to be going after your desires, particularly if you're a single man or a single woman, because we have that natural need to want a relationship and we have these sexual urges. The temptations of the enemy is all the more stronger because we don't have that partner. We're completely alone. It's just us and God in our singlehood season. So the temptation is constantly chasing us. It's always poking at us and saying, come and enjoy me, come and enjoy me. How can we set the boundaries against that? You notice with the way that Joseph also reacted in that second part is he wasn't even with Potiphar's wife at all. And that's what we need to do. You cannot be surrounded with that type of environment. Now, Vinny, how can I do that? How can you make this practical? Well, I guess maybe you guys even already know this. Oh, I know that I'm not supposed to be around sexual sin, but it's just so difficult. Now, here's the thing. You have to set boundaries for yourself, not only with the people that you have around yourself, but also with your social media space. So who are you following? What are the type of women you're following, the type of men you're following? What are their content? Is it helping you in your Christ? Maybe they're not Christians, but are they at least giving some positive seeds here and there that's gonna help you in your own walk? Or is it just thirst traps and a sexual allure, and that's the gratification and that's their validation for people to follow them? And so for men, I want you guys to pay attention, especially Christian men, because you'll say, well, I'm not even on Pornhub anymore. I'm not having sexual relationships. It's not going to hurt for me to follow that one girl from high school and check out how she's doing and she's posting thirst traps at the beach. My brother, Jesus was very clear that sin starts within the heart. It starts within there. So you have to understand that the battlefield is not in the physical, but actually first in the spiritual, which begins within. There has to be a transformation in your mind, in your mind, and an ability to refute against those temptations and have a sense of self-control. That's the standard of a man of God and a woman of God, is having the standard and having the willingness to have self-control over their urges. You're a human being that has the ability to make morally sound decisions. And part of that is still going with God's standard in that area. And it's controlling yourself and saying, I don't need to be engaged in this. And I'll go even further than that. Not only do you just skip over the picture, or maybe you just go out of the story, you unfollow that person completely, because your spiritual space is a lot more worth than you falling into temptation and sin. The more that you are being tempted and the more things are being thrown in your way, you're not going to be able to handle it. You're not Jesus and his 40-day fast in the desert with the devil tempting him. You do not have that ability to be able to counter that consistently all the time. Sooner or later, you're going to fall. Guaranteed. So why not just take care of your personal space? Now, mind you, I'm telling you all this and I'm still going through the whole process myself, but I understand that's the goal. And so every time I look through my social media and I see people post particular things and it's consistent, and it's all the time, it's an unfollow for me. And when there's something that's being insinuated or people that may be sliding into your DMs, or maybe just the pictures that she's posting and the content that she's posting on her stories. It's all going and focusing on that area. I gotta unfollow, bro. Simple as that. For me, even deleting my own personal Twitter account. I have like a burner where I just like see sports and stuff. But for the personal Twitter, I'm done with that. Because everybody's likes and everybody's retweets you can see, and a lot of this content is still festered on that idea of just sexually immoral content. If it's not pictures, it's the type of tweets and the jokes that they're doing. And I know that's gonna trigger me, being a person that used to struggle with pornography a lot consistently. So set your boundaries, set your space. It is essential that the battle first begins within yourself, within your mind, and within the spiritual space around you. And your future wife and your future girlfriend, future husband and future boyfriend is going to thank you for this type of mindset, because it's showing them that you have the maturity of self-control. And when you have that maturity of self-control, you're not only able to be loyal to them in the physical, where you don't cheat on the person when physically, right? Or with flirting, but also within your mind and in your emotions, you're intact. You know to rebuke it. You know that, yo, that's not me. I know that the temptation is there. I'm going to turn the other way. Right? So it's not a sin to be tempted, but it is a sin to fester in it. So be mindful, guys. I know there's girls out there posting their OnlyFans. I know there's girls out there posting on their stories everything about their body parts. I know that they're doing a lot of challenges that may be sexually explicit. Why are you seeing? Why are you looking? Why are you surrounding yourself with that? I noticed too on TikTok that the algorithm favors what you like. Make it known, or try to make it known to the algorithm, that this is the type of content that I like. And I've seen that the type of content that's sexually explicit has lessened more and more and more, the more that I like content that I want to see on TikTok. So it should be the same for you. TikTok notices the type of videos that you linger on a little bit too long. TikTok notices the videos that you like and engage in more. And then you wonder, why is there so much sexual explicit content on my TikTok? Come on, bro, wake up. So this is not a judgment. No one is saying to you that you're less of a Christian for maybe even falling to these temptations. But I do believe today is the exact moment that you're gonna hear this advice is gonna change your perspective. You're gonna start walking in victory and in confidence that you can overcome these temptations, because you have the capability of making moral decisions. You have the Spirit of God within you that's telling you, yo, this is not the right thing, man. Remember our standards. And be like Joseph and start fleeing the sin rather than even entertaining it. I hope you guys took something from this. Hope it's beneficial to your walk. Comment below any struggles, any testimonies, anything that you may need help with, or even DM me on my personal Instagram that I'll leave in the caption. And I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Stay blessed. Best regards, John 3:16.